Hi, Assalamualaikum, and a very good morning to all of the viewers. Thank you for joining our Leader of Enterprise webinar series. I'm Adaha, a PhD graduate from School of Chemical and Energy Engineering, and I'll be our third LOE, the moderator for our third LOE session. And today we're going to have a very special guest with us, Dr. Devaraj Veerasamy from Suraaj Mahir Consultancy. But before that, I would like to ask for your kind action. Please do not forget to like and share our webinar video throughout Facebook, because what I can tell is that basically the next 1 hour is going to be very interactive. Hi, so it looks like we have our speaker ready with us right now. Hi, Doctor. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Ida.
Yeah,
Nice to
it's
hear
very
you.
good to see you. Yeah, actually, I already this is not our first time talk to each other, right,
Sure,
Doctor?
sure. Yeah, we have many
Yeah,
times interacted.
yeah. Yeah, basically, we already talked to each other like a couple of times before LOE, right, Doctor? And what
Yeah,
I can say based on our conversation is that Dr. Devaraj is a very knowledgeable person in his field. And Doctor, actually, we are very grateful to have you to be as our speaker today. And we would like to thank you for accepting our invitation from Faculty of Engineering, UTM.
thank you very much.
Yeah. And
Very,
just for you and for the viewers to know, actually, the Leader of Enterprise webinar series is basically intended for you to do your sharing, to share your knowledge, to share your company activities for the benefits of students, university, as well as the staff.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Doctor. And by the way, Doctor, before I can let you to do your sharing. I believe that all of our viewers would like to know more about you. So I hope that you can give me a couple of minutes to read through your bibliography. Can I, Doctor?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So
Please proceed.
basically, yeah. So basically, Dr. Devaraj Veerasamy holds a PhD in chemical engineering. He is currently a CEO and principal consultant of Suraaj Mahir Consultancy. So this is a Malaysian-based environmental consulting company that provides advisory services to mitigate environmental degradation that focus on raw rubber processing and rubber product manufacturing industries. So previously, he was the head of environmental technology and sustainability research program of Malaysian Rubber Board. And he has been retired in June 2015 after serving the Malaysian government for 37 years. That is a very long period of time, Doctor.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. He's also been as an academic consultant and external industrial supervisor for postgraduate student, yeah, Doctor, from UTM and UM, as well as advisory panel member of Prince of Songkhla, University of Thailand, on R&D that related to raw rubber processing industry. So basically, Dr. Devaraj consultancy services involve raw rubber processing that adopt membrane separation process and the recovery of valuable material from rubber processing factory discharge. So to date, he has published more than 70 research articles, mainly concerning about the rubber industry in journals, conference proceedings, and book chapters. He has also participated as technical and working group member for the development of Malaysian standard on waste, resulting in the generation of 6MS. So far with MRB, he has one major Malaysian patent granted as main inventor at the time
Yes, many
in
invented.
2016, and three other international patents application are waiting to be approved. And Dr. Devaraj, you are also an editorial board member of Journal of Rubber Research,
Research.
published by Springer
Yeah,
till today.
yes. This is still, this journal established 1945.
Oh, okay.
Still, and now Springer has taken over. Still,
You're
still editorial committee member.
Yeah,
Very
still
good.
the member. So
Yeah.
that's a little some introduction about you. But Doctor, feel free to tell us more. So I'm going to let you to do your sharing for the next 40 minutes. Just do not mind me, but sometimes I'm going to raise my hand to ask you questions. And
Yeah.
without further ado, Doctor, please.
Please proceed. Please proceed.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you
yeah,
for
no
very much
problem.
for the short introduction.
Yeah,
I
no
will
problem.
proceed. So this project is basically pharmaceutical and cosmetic raw material recovery from natural rubber latex. It's totally out of rubber as a polymer. It's a natural polymer. This project won finalist. This project is finalist in the global awards for Institute of Chemical Engineering UK. But we didn't win, but we were called to UK for the final award. So together with me, Dr. Devaraj Veerasamy, he is the now currently the TG of the Malaysian Rubber Board. Together
Mhm.
we took up so many projects, and this is one of the projects we were researched by both of us. So I was the main researcher, and he was co-researcher. So,
Mhm.
uh, so I will go to the next slide. Shall we go to the next slide? Yes. So I'll just briefly give you my career pathway. Okay. I joined Malaysia Rubber Board. That time is Rubber Research Institute.
Mhm.
Um, so I picked up. I was in many units and picked up the upstream side, planting and nursery technique and all that. But since I'm more of a chemistry and physics based, so I finally was asked to assist in the that time Malaysian Rubber Board was the only analytical chemistry division of Malaysian Rubber Board is involved in that time the glove industry is coming up, so we have got protein allergy problem. So I was involved in residual chemical in latex dig goods analysis, and then chemical purity of the rubber chemical used by the Malaysian rubber industry in producing glove and all that. So we are the body that have the industry to do the
Mhm.
analysis and then purity. And also sometimes we have to know the blends, the type of polymer blends in one of the product. So they sent to us, and I was supervising this analysis using custom departments actually. They want to find out how much of natural rubber is being used and so that they can tax accordingly. So these products are sent to Malaysian Rubber Board. At that time is our Rubber Research Institute, Analytical Chemistry Division. So I was supervisor at that time. Subsequently, I was also involved in the extensively in the reverse engineering process. Some products that are manufactured overseas, then we'll take this product and then we do a reverse engineering. That means we strip the product, finding
Mhm.
out what polymer they use, what chemical they use, and then we more or less give them a probable compounding composition so that they can make this product locally. So this was actually very much useful actually to develop local industry to rubber product manufacturing. So that was when I was assistant research officer and assistant chemist. Subsequently, under the Malaysian Rubber Board, I was became a research engineer and research officer, and I was involved in many of these. Order problem was the main issue in raw rubber processing factories. So I was involved in coming up with the order control technology, and subsequently I moved into work on cleaner processing technique, and this alternative process latex processing where we could extract useful biochemical and also discharge clean water.
Mhm.
So I've worked a number of projects actually, seven major projects as a uh, project leader and minor seven as a co-researcher.
This
So
is when you are working with MRB.
yeah, Malaysian Rubber Board. Actually,
Mhm.
MRB and RRIM is almost the same. MRB is
Mhm.
a combination of three rubber bodies. That means the Malaysia Rubber Research and Development Board and RRIM and also Malaysia Rubber Exchange. These three amalgamated and so that they can come under one umbrella and they can do. But of course, the research part is still there.
Mhm.
Research and advisory to the industry is still there. And then environment is the area that I was asked to take up together with the current DG when he was studying in Canada. Then we came back and he took up the cleaner processing technique.
Mhm.
So I was the head of the environmental technology sustainability program for 2013 to 15 and head of pollution control. So under this, my major research is recovery of raw rubber actually. Go for zero discharge. Actually, I was all the time, going for zero discharge. That means wastewater from the rubber industry. You can extract some
Mhm.
chemicals, and then you can discharge clean water. That was my main thing. And then that's why I went into getting alternative processing of latex processing using membrane separation, where I can get latex concentrated and then the clean serum, and then both can be used up. But this project was not taken up by the industry. So then we went into the only the waste latex recovery that is still being taken up. Then subsequently, I went into cleaning up, I mean, the wastewater, extracting the biochemical from the wastewater, and also value adding to the raw material, that which I will talk to you about later. So,
Mhm.
so my research, I also for the glove industry, there were a lot of these nitrile waste latex. So in fact, I researched recovering the nitrile waste using membrane separation and blend it with other latex and come out. Sometimes you blend the latex, although they are waste latex, when you blend the latex, they have a special property. So that's what I
Mhm.
was working on. So
Mhm.
this kind of thing, able to publish quite a lot of journals, starting from cleaner processing, then zero discharge and all that, and then book chapters with Prof. Fauzi and Prof.
Mhm.
Other professors involved in the membrane separation work managed to come out with 75 papers, and also academic consultant for wanted to contribute more to the universities. And University Malaya, I was academic consultant for a few students.
Mhm.
Subsequently, postgraduate students, master students, and PhD students from University Malaya, UTM.
Yeah.
So then I'm also
By the
qualified.
way, doctor, I forgot that somebody informed me. Actually, maybe you informed me that you are the ex-student of UTM,
Yes,
and you was graduated in 2011, right?
2011. I got my PhD in 2011
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
under Prof. Fauzi. And then that year, I got a Best PhD Student Award
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for
That's very great.
chemical engineering. I'm also qualified ISO 9001 and 14,000 auditor. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that is a quick run, and as a researcher, as a research, assistant research officer, and a researcher and senior research officer, head of program, and all that. Can't forget this whole life is spent in rubber, Malaysia Rubber Board. When I was
37 years.
Yes, 37 years. So I'm still part and parcel of the rubber industry, and also I got a lot of links with Malaysia Rubber Board. Uh,
Mhm.
Constantly consult some of the research officers. They consult me for some additional input. So I will periodically we used to have ad hoc meetings and all that.
So a part
Then
of a consultation, this is your what you are currently doing, right? You're
yes,
being
yes,
as the consultant. So I just wonder, a part of being as a consultant, do you provide any other services, maybe hands-on training, or you involved in the research yourself? Do you do it? Something like
yes.
that?
Hands-on training, yes, we under the when I formed this company, I was asked to
Mm-hmm.
form this company because after 60 years old, there's no extension and all that. So the former that DG asked me to form
Mm-hmm.
a company, then asked me to come as a consultant. So I managed to help immediately when I left RI. When I formed this company, I came in as a consultant and then helped to finish some of my outstanding projects with them. And then
Mm-hmm.
it continues, like, especially on recovery of skim latex. Skim latex is a problem, so I'm still working unofficially, but with the knowledge of the Malaysia, DG of the Malaysia Rubber Board. So I constantly meet some of the thing, and then under my company Suraaj Mahir Consultancy, I have consultation work being done locally and overseas lah. But overseas, more of giving seminars and giving advice to the some of these projects that our neighbor, our rival neighbor, they also
Mm-hmm.
know me from those days. They've been asking me to come over and give a talk and all that. But somehow or other, as a being a government servant, I couldn't go. But when I became a honorary citizen, so they invited me, and I gave a few lectures, but not so keen to stay there and continue. But so I always come back to Malaysia. So it's more or less like it's not a continuous work there. So.
Mm.
And locally, after I formed this company, I take up any environmental degradation in rubber factories. They have some problem. Suddenly, the BOD value shoots up and all that. They call up, and then we'll go and have a examine and then find out what can be done. Even
Mm.
this wastewater treatment system is not very easy to maintain, especially when suddenly the rain comes. So the sludge, the management of sludge goes haywire. So that is the one which will bring down the efficiency rate. So I need some time to do that. See, rubber effluent is something not everybody can do. Actually. There are factories that we went and visited. There's a problem. They thought the rubber will sink, but actually rubber floats. So this
Mhm.
design was done by a European. So when we told them rubber floats, they were a bit angry. Then I told them even you flocculate, it still floats. So they have
Mhm.
to do the whole primary clarifier. So these are things that although we have a lot of glove industry, but the wastewater only those people who are accustomed to this kind of effluent they can do. That's where we come in. Um, Whenever I take up a job, I have my colleagues, so Dr. Zaid and this is one of my seniors, and we will jointly do some work together
Mhm.
to solve. And then once the project is over, we disband. So, but on my own, I have three consultants who work with me most of the projects. Mhm.
Oh, three consultants with you.
So can we go to the my next slide?
Mhm.
So next slide is actually the awards that I got throughout my lifetime. The first,
Mm.
most foremost, is the University Technology Malaysia has the best PhD award, which is very
The
memorable to me.
2011.
Uh, the Malaysia Rubber Board, I got most of it, best paper award and all that. Okay, then the award that I got in Geneva, that was like international recognition for my
Mhm.
cleaner processing using membrane separation to concentrate latex because no more centrifuge. By concentrating latex, you can get clean serum. The other
Mm.
one is the recovery of waste.
So
Waste.
this is the serum that you're going to talk about later,
Yeah,
right?
later
Yeah.
on. Then the third one is of course in our mine ITEX. We have the mine ITEX very famous.
Mhm.
2005, my project got the best environmental management project, and my boss, Dr. Veerasamy, got the WIPO award for the processing of serum, actually, which I'm also going to talk about later. So
Mhm.
actually, during the time, 2005 to 2015, the wastewater treatment and value added recovery from wastewater is very much in the research agenda. Actually, we wanted to transform the rubber industry, but then there's other problem came up, so we're still trying to do the research that we successfully did into to commercialize it. So that's about the awards. So I like to go to the next slide, kindly. So this is my company, Suraaj Mahir Consultancy. It is a kind of enterprise. As I mentioned to you earlier, most of my work is taking care, mitigation of the degradation at the wastewater treatment
Mhm. Yeah.
of factory. Then sometimes the rehabilitation of the wastewater. Actually, sometimes this wastewater treatment system from the glove industry doesn't perform. I mean, the DOE they don't comply with DOE discharge
Mhm.
system. So we go and then we have our team. We build up Dr. Zaid, myself, and on.
Mhm.
We'll have a look, and then we will come up with things to rehabilitate, and then look at the clarifier, primary clarifier, and all that. For nowadays, with some glove industry, they suddenly expand because the demand is so much. So
Mhm.
they don't have space to put up wastewater treatment. If you have a bigger factory, let's say from five factory becomes seven factory, the
Mhm.
wastewater increases, but they still have don't. So we also recommend some wastewater treatment system which doesn't will work with space constraint area. I mean,
Mhm.
membrane bioreactor and MBBR. These are the things that we will recommend to them. And
Mhm.
then subsequently, our company also hold lectures, environmental medical lectures. We have done a few lectures in Thailand and
Mhm.
also in Malaysia, quite a number of lectures. Now and then we have discussion, advisory, and all that.
So I
Yeah.
just wonder, currently how many consultations you have been doing so far, and
Uh,
I believe that you must be dealing with different kind of customers and clients, and they must have like different kind of technical knowledge. So it's quite challenging, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes, depending on the job I take, so
Mm-hmm.
if the job that I can do on my own, I will do basically relating to membrane separation. And there's a company they wanted to uh, get a conceptual design on glycine from synthesis of glycine and purification, because they have been using the classical indigenous method. So I designed a membrane system for them. That
Mm-hmm.
is through my former director, Dr. Yusuf Aziz. So we jointly did. That is other than rubber. And for rubber, basically, space constraint, water recycling. I mean, wastewater recycling. That means they have wastewater system, but the wastewater treatment system is just to comply and they discharge the water. So now,
Mm-hmm.
because the glove industry is a water intensive process, so we cannot depend on the normal tap water for them. So we make sure that they have their own source of the processed water. So we come in use membrane separation. So
So they
for
can reuse the water
yeah,
back.
use that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then also Malaysian government through the MREPC also provides green technology grant. I mean, they also encourage rubber industry to use back their water. So they also give grants if at all if you have a wastewater treatment system, you
Mm-hmm.
want to use back, they based on how much of the public utility water is saved. The more they save, they approve a bigger grant. So for
Mm-hmm.
that grant, I'm also evaluator. I mean, I'm expert panel member for the because the Malaysian rubber MREPC gives grant for automation. Besides what wastewater recycling give automation,
Mm-hmm.
um, biomass, solar energy, and water. So I'm the chairman for the water panel, where any factory that they want to put up a membrane system to uh, purify treated wastewater, they can apply for the grant and then they get the relevant people to evaluate. So that is one of the things. And also, most of this work is most of my other consultancy works. Some factory they want to extract some valuable chemicals and all that. They wanted to have a cleaner processing. So we just give advice on how to go about it. But now the raw rubber is the price is quite low. So the raw rubber
Yeah, yeah.
processing factories not so keen to go
Even when
into.
I read through all the newspaper headlines that latex price is going
Mm,
down despite of
uh,
the increased demand of rubber-based
uh,
products.
yeah.
So, yeah, what do you think about this, Doctor?
Yeah, you see, the raw rubber price now suddenly the surge of this rubber glove, examination glove, because of the pandemic. Because
Mm-hmm.
now suddenly Malaysia is the number one exporter of examination, so they are doing
Yeah,
service to the world, and all the glove factories all becoming
very
doing very
big.
well, very well. But the problem is the natural rubber latex supply is still coming from Thailand. The
Oh.
local farmers, they don't get proper incentive, to produce latex. And then we have also nitrile glove coming in. Nitrile glove is really competing with the natural rubber glove. So now Malaysia is the exporter of oil. Oil is raw material for nitrile rubber. So the
Mm.
nitrile rubber, nitrile latex is no problem. They make more. So that's why we can sustain, we sustain without natural rubber latex. Because natural rubber latex, they make a special type of glove, especially.
Mm.
Um, but the supply is at, we don't get local supply. We have to buy from Thailand. And then since there's a supply is a bit a problem. So then they develop this nitrile glove. Nitrile giving equally well, in term creating a barrier for those health workers. But the only advantage for natural rubber is it's natural product like surgery. They do natural rubber glove.
Mm. But
Stop.
regarding this, does MRB has some sort of initiative to help to maybe to try to increase the price of the latex?
Yes,
What?
they're trying to come out. Now they form a Malaysian Rubber Council actually. It's
Mm.
formerly known as Malaysia Rubber Export Promotion Council. They make the Rubber Council, where they collect the cess from the rubber product exported. Part of the cess, they use this cess to promote the smallholders to supply latex and also
Yeah.
employ local workers instead of the foreign workers. So some of
Mm.
the new minister is trying to formulate ways of dependent locally. So this Malaysia Rubber Council, the funding from there, they use it to promote some incentive to be given to the local
Local and
small
small holders.
latex, as well as also to add more local workers in the rubber product manufacturing, that means glove. So this will be just started actually, and then it might work. It might slowly will take care of so much dependence on the foreign workers. On the
Mm.
latest price, once they give the farmers get some incentive on the instead of getting the SMR about $4, they can get about 10 cents or 20 cents extra. They will definitely go to produce latex. So that's one thing that the government is doing to get the local supply to get the local supply. But of course, we are the producer of natural, oil, and oil is the basis for nitrile latex. So
Mm.
that part also it shouldn't be will go in hand. But okay, natural rubber is very important because the aeroplane tire is made from natural rubber. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then condoms are made from natural rubber because
Yeah.
the I can't make from nitrile. So these are the niche. And then examination glove, surgical glove they must make from natural rubber. The
Measurable.
examination glove, the normal examination by the doctor wears a glove, that one made from nitrile. So nitrile has got its own market, and then natural rubber latex has got its own niche area. But there
Mm.
are areas that now they're coming out with the EMA Malaysian. I mean, they're coming out with a special modified latex. They call this Ecoprina, epoxy natural rubber latex. That is actually modified the latex change so that they become more robust and also they can withstand chemical and all that. This when these things comes into market, that is the epoxy natural rubber glove,
Mm-hmm.
we can completely do surgical glove without even normal, even surgical glove made from latex glove. They are good, but then they touch with the oil, fatty tissues, and they also the pore size can increase, so they have to change a few times. It has a
Mm-hmm.
good barrier property, but normal surgery is okay. But we go for fatty tissue removal, then natural rubber glove also have a problem. But this okay. But this is not a problem, so they can overcome this. So now the incentives, so that the smallholders should be given incentives to so that they produce latex. That will be the main target, and do we shouldn't depend so much on foreign labor. So that will
Yeah,
be
but this is already started, right? The initiative, the
yes,
plans.
started. Yes, started. So I'll just go on to my company. These consultants, there are three consultants, which one of them is myself, the other one is Mr. Dr. Ko. He does take care of the mechanical and electrical work. And Mr. Vive, he takes care, he's the latest technology. So anything to do with problem with glove manufacturing, sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
latex is decoloration, and we will do that. We take up the project and we will handle this one. So we need more bigger projects. Then I will build up the team to accommodate and take care of this.
Mhm.
So that is how I function. And then time and again, I go back to Malaysia Rubber Board to have some discussion, see how I can contribute. That is FOC free of charge lah. Uh, so
Mhm.
then I just look at some of this work that I've carried out. A few notable projects undertaken. One of the greatest challenge I had is holding a teleconference in one of the biggest glove factory in biggest latex concentrate factory in Thailand. Actually,
Mhm.
firstly, I did teleconferencing where about three or four factories they listened to my talk, and then I was trying to talk about taking care of the waste latex because waste latex is a problem in Thailand actually. So that was
Mhm.
one. Then I was invited speaker in a Thailand, which is a big conference in Thailand where I talk on rubber.
Mhm.
And then there was a company in Thailand where they produce membranes. Thailand is producing membranes, and they thought I gave a talk there. And the other thing is, with my team, we did a feasibility study in Laos to set up technically specified rubber. Because Laos is slowly coming up. They have problem uh,
Mhm.
having a proper, block rubber processing factory. They just, we go back to the olden day. They get the kaplam, the dry kaplam, and then they sell to the lorries from China. They come and buy and go. So they wanted to have a technically specified rubber processing factory so that they can value add. So we did a feasibility study with the Laos government, and then there was a very established uh, modern environmental control company where I worked with them how to take care of the rubber waste and all that. And
Mhm.
then there was, some work done at the, typing glove factory where they have some problem, upgraded wastewater treatment system. So we did a third-party audit together with Dr. Zai, and he's my consultant for a consult. We work
Mhm.
together for bigger projects together. That's about this Suraj Mahir Consultancy is actually basically trying to make use of my over the years expertise gained over the years to help the industry and also go into more as an advisor for come out the universities to work on see normally universities they do memory separation more to cater for it's more of a paper like academic. So
Mhm.
I'm more using the
Related to industry, right?
industry. So
Mhm.
I work with Prof. Fauzi, how you can take it to the industry. That's why we together gave some talks in India also in 2017, 18, 19, how
Mhm.
we can make use like India problem with tannery problem. So
Mhm.
we together had kind of use their style, from convert from academic to industry application. So that should be because membrane separation is you can't deny. This is the technology that we have to use it to revolutionize indigenous technology. Indigenous technology means has been there over the years, but then we cannot be using that. There's a lot of wastages and all that. So membrane separation is a cleaner processing. They have to come whether you like it or not. That's why Amtag is doing very well in this, but they have to go beyond, help work with some of the industries to
Yes,
come up with
that's very true.
modern method. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, that's about my company. So I can go to the next slide. Yeah, this is the show the importance of the industry. I think I already talked most of it actually. Okay, people say rubber industry got no future, but then it's a strategic crop actually. The small does benefit from there. It's very easy to handle. Morning,
Mhm.
morning they go to some of the about holding
To
they tap
the
the rubber tree.
decision. Mhm.
Uh, they tap the tree and then they wait for the tree rubber to coagulate and then they sell it and then they can do other work and then they sell to the what do you call the rubber buyer and then they get the rubber price go up and down but still they can function. But in Thailand it's different. In Thailand it's different. Thailand rubber is the only commodity. Oil palm doesn't grow well there. So they are very more, they collect latex and they sell. They collect latex and wait for the lorry to come. The
Mm-hmm.
lorry takes the latex to the latex concentrate factory. They concentrate latex. They sell to Malaysia for the glove industry. So
Yeah. Because
here,
we know that here in Malaysia, the real fact is that oil palm is giving much more money to Malaysia. So since that the price of latex is keep going down, so people are just like going to planting oil palm instead of doing rubber
but
trees.
yes, you are
Yeah,
right
planting rubber
perfectly.
trees. Yeah.
Yes, but now with the sudden surge in glove interest, then
Yes.
then we are also getting nitrile latex from our oil,
Mm-hmm.
our crude oil and converting into, I mean, making into nitrile latex coming in, and then with easy supply of latex from Thailand, we are actually booming business in glove industry.
In glove
But with
industry.
that, even with this normal, other than the latex product, the dry rubber
Mm-hmm.
product contribute we almost 40,000 of product, 50,000 of types of product made from NR, natural rubber, the bridge bearing actually. Penang Bridge actually, both the three bridges also use bridge bearing. And then Malaysia
Mm-hmm.
Rubber Board, yeah, did the testing of the second bridge. They wholly put all the bridge bearing that is tested by Malaysia Rubber Board. And over the in overseas, because the bridge bearing, there's a metal to rubber bonding that is the one which takes away the noise, and then we can withstand. And also the earthquake bearing, and then the these plantar minyak, they also use, because plantar minyak there's a lot of vibration, so they use rubber as a in the foundation. So people doesn't know that rubber is used in so many places. They look
Yeah,
at it.
what I know is basically about rubber
Yeah,
glove, yes, that sort
uh,
of products that we
actually,
always know.
we produce less rubber. They think that we don't have rubber. Actually, we make use of the rubber to make into products. Not like those days we export raw rubber. That's why our export of raw rubber become less. Actually, our rubber product manufacturers also, they are already making high tech products. So glove
Mm-hmm.
industry. So rubber industry is not a sunset industry. It has got its own place in the sun now. You look
Mm-hmm.
at the rubber products,
Yeah.
rubber products contribute about 60%, 70% of the whole of the rubber. Of course, also we get rubber wood and other products, but other from other items from rubber tree. Rubber wood is also very popular because we cannot have hard timber. We cannot sell the rubber wood after about 30 years economic life. This wood is converted to very nice colored. We call this yellow oak. The Westerners like this. So together, the industry supplies about 40 over billion per year. It's about 5 to 6% of the GDP. It seems to be 5 to 6% only, but a lot of people are in one way or another dependent on rubber industry actually. The
Yeah.
small, the factory workers, then those chemical producers who to go give, I mean, the chemical that used in the making of this compounding and all that. So it's not the GDP alone. The other things not yet counted here in this is related to rubber. So oil palm, yes, it's got its own. But rubber with the glove in thing, we are doing important service to the world actually. And then also the rubber companies have already. I can go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Any question about this so far on the rubber? So we go to the next one. The
Mm-hmm.
importance of glove industry. I think I already mentioned to you the importance of glove industry. Um, so the few things I would like to add on is that this. So just touch on in 2019, Malaysia exported about 182 billion glove pieces. And now that is about 4.31 billion revenue. But in 2020, they're expecting to make about 240 billion pieces. It means from 185 billion pieces to 240. billion. So that's quite a big amount of revenue the government going to collect, besides the factory making their profit. And
Mhm.
nitrile glove is oversold 36 days. That means you cannot get the glove at all for all of this year and next year. I mean, they are being over. The demand is so much higher. That's why some people, some glove countries, they are expanding. All the main glove factories are already expanding about 60%, 16% of their production.
Yeah, even because of actually this is basically being contributed due to the pandemic. So
Yeah.
people use like a lot of rubber-based product nowadays, and I believe that it's some sort of like giving open the job opportunities to other people as well, to the student especially for this kind of industries, right, Doctor?
Yes, yes. These factories they need technologies actually, not technologies, and then those take care of this wastewater treatment, this processing line, the chemies. So there are a lot of opportunities for these people, chemical engineers, chemies. We need a competent person to take care of the wastewater treatment. The DOE wants a competent person. Then again, you need someone there. Then what's wastewater treatment? One person not enough. You need a few. The chemists because compounding and all that. So we need
Oh,
this.
that is sorry to interrupt. We do have like it looks like we have our dean, Prof.
Ah,
Rafiq,
oh, that's nice
inside
to
here
know.
our session.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
So,
Fadilatullah, and to our guest speaker. Because I have a workshop right now,
mm,
so I just said maybe I just drop by and say hello to our guest speaker, Dr. Devaraj. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to give a talk at our UTM Engineering Leaders of Enterprise.
thank you very much for giving this opportunity. It's a very it's a good opportunity for me to just talk about my company and also my contribution to the rubber industry and also Malaysia as a whole. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Just continue, please.
Yes,
thank you,
yes.
Prof.
Sure. Thank you, Prof. Okay, coming back to yeah, you were asking some question. Yeah, yeah, yes, we need a lot of these people. Beside the workers, the other thing, those in the production side, engineers, chemical engineers, chemists, and mechanical engineer and all that. So we need. So the universities are there to hopefully will. So we don't normally take foreigners as other than the workers. So mostly we use local. So that way, it's a positive sign. Malaysian rubber industry, glove industry is doing so well, and we will maintain it for next couple of years actually. So
Yeah, this
maybe
is quite
we
actually this is quite a good news as well for the students.
yes,
Despite we know
yes.
that when the pandemic is coming, it's like
Mm,
some people are losing their job, but
mm,
for all of those related to this field, actually, it's kind of like opening the job opportunities. Yeah, it's quite
sure.
good
Mm.
news as well.
Malaysia is doing well, especially most
Yeah,
of the glove industry. They train their own people. They have own R&D. Actually, those
mm-hmm.
days when the glove
That's right.
industry was starting up, 1980s, RRI made great contribution to them. Without RRI, they wouldn't be at this level now. But now they already established the industry. The 1980 there was Earth AIDS scare. That's the time everybody started wearing glove and all that. So
Mm,
that time, Malaysia, I used to see so many small entrepreneurs. They were lining up to see some of these RRI chemists, rubber chemists, latex chemists, and all that. Then after that, they have the industry to take up. Now the industry has grown up and they have their own chemists and all that. And then they
mm,
have got their own factory, they have got own technology, own process. They just keep it to themselves. So, but it's good, a good sign that we are in fact can compete with China actually making gloves. In fact, we're still holding number one with China coming in strongly, and Thailand are having a big uh, advantage of having their own latex, but still we are
we are
doing
the
very
top
well.
one, right?
Yeah, number one.
Number one,
60
competing.
percent of the 60% of the glove in the glove used in the world comes from Malaysia. So
That's good.
uh,
It's very
the
good sign.
baby, every baby which born, they see the glove first, and the doctor operates, takes out. They have to see the glove. Yeah, so that's it. So that's why rubber industry has got its own place in the sun, lah, they would say. Okay,
Yeah.
coming back. So the universities will provide the bulk of the technical people, and then of course the government is doing something to take care. I mean, dependent on so much on the foreign labor. They are doing something through Malaysian Rubber Council. Coming on to the top glove, the seven top four Malaysian rubber glove. There are seven of them. They are already in the first Bursa Sahara. They are listed in the stock exchange. And
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be surprised, 57 billion poured in into the stocks of these seven companies since March. That means the importance, lah. How this company are doing. These
Mm-hmm.
seven companies, Top Glove, of course, you all know, and other. So that's a good sign. Malaysian economy is vibrant. And then,
Yeah.
although the seven Top Glove, they are producing mostly like surgical examination, clean room, and all that. But there's another company called Brightway Holdings. They make niche product. Niche product means they custom make. Like they made their own glove for Ebola, and then they have a female condom also. These are like niche product. This is Brightway Holding. You can visit their web. And
Yeah.
also any news relating to rubber product manufacturing, you can also contact the Malaysia Rubber Product Manufacturing Association Executive Director. I gave this, it's linked there.
This
You
is a
can contact.
government organization, Malaysian Rubber.
Malaysia Rubber Product it's an association. It's like association for which is a kind of takes care of all the rubber product manufacturers. It's not a government.
Okay.
It's an association, but they
Mm-hmm.
work with the government actually.
Oh,
For
well,
new, they need the government's help for a lot of things to come out with how they can to give them what kind of thing that the rubber industry must do, direction and all that come from the government. They work closely with the government. Yes, like for example, Magma, Malaysian Glove Manufacturing Association, Magma, and then MRPMA and MREPC. MREPC now is Malaysia Rubber Council. They are the government body. But
mm-hmm.
Magma and Malaysia Rubber Product Manufacturing, they are actually association. So the Malaysia Magma is focused only glove, whereas rubber MRPMA, that is Rubber Product Manufacturing Association, they actually umbrella body for all the rubber product, including tire, all these tire and also products like some of the products they are there. So these two are association, but they know. They will know what kind of job opportunities are available in the factories and all that, so they can link up with them. And then for industrial training and all that, you can also contact Magma or you can
We can
contact.
refer to this
Uh,
website. Right?
yes, can.
That's very good.
Yeah. So you might need all the chemists and chemical engineers. I think they can accommodate and they can provide an internship there and all that. You can
Mm,
directly contact
that's
them.
good.
Huh?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. I'd like to go to the next slide.
Next slide.
Okay, this is so far about introduction. So far what I mentioned is just a kind of introduction to the importance of
Yeah.
rubber industry, and this one is the quick look at all this. We have got NR plantation is actually forest species. If you walk in rubber plantation, it's very nice,
Mm-hmm.
very cool. It's unlike the oil palm. So actually, it's a carbon sink. 90 million tons of carbon absorbed by all these rubber planted all over the world. And NR is produces by plant. NR latex produces by plant biosynthesis. And then when you tap the tree, it exudes. You must know the tree that the right time to tap the tree is three to, in fact, 3 to 4 a.m. That's why the
Oh,
turgor
that's
pressure
very
is higher. Turgor pressure is the pressure that the vessels, latex vessel has got. The moment you injure the vessel, the thing goes up. So
Mm-hmm.
those days, when Malaysia used to be the number one producer of latex, they all go early in the morning. They finish tapping by about 8 o'clock. Then they wait for the latex to come and then they collect. But now, Malaysia is no more, don't have plantations except for Guthrie, they got a small few acres. Most of them are smallholders actually. Mhm. But nevertheless, the Thailand, Indonesia, and Southeast Asia, in fact, India, they have got some plantations. And they are also doing some service to the rubber plantation as a carbon sink, and so they bring down the global warming and all that. So below that, I have the big chunk of the natural rubber plantation, and then all this latex, and then kaplam, and then latex. These are three types, main types of product. Each one is varied. The latex product only the glove and condoms and the
Yeah,
medical.
different
And then
products,
from
right?
yeah, and the kaplam and is all the field grade. It's making these are the field grade material. Kaplam is made into tires and some of this. And now we have got so much of kaplam. There's a glut in the market. So now they are making use of kaplam and then they convert to the SMR process and they add with the premix. So you have got some premix mixed with the rubber made from kaplam into a premix rubber, which is being used to lay on the roads, especially in Thailand and Malaysia. Malaysia is slowly coming up. Recently, but we had the minister telling only 0.5%, but it will go. It become because using this kaplam rubberized maintenance is lower cost of maintenance. So, so of course, you have to process the kaplam into a rubber, which can be mixed to the premix. You cannot take the kaplam and make into, add to the premix. You have to make into, you have to take away the water and all that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go on to the most important thing is let's look at the composition of latex. That's why I'm going to focus my work. You see, all this
Yeah.
is the rubber. Rubber, the polymer is the thing we are interested in. Now, my main focus for today is the
About the non-explored
non.
natural
Yes,
rubber
yes,
rubber product, right? Yeah, you
yes.
have mentioned about
Let's
this earlier.
quickly go to the next slide.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is a quick check of the latex. When you centrifuge highly, we get so many parts, the top layer, the middle layer, and all that. This is
Mm.
organic non-rubber constitute latex. The latex, if you centrifuge means it's completely centrifuge. I mean, this latex without any preservation, you centrifuge. You get the top layer and the middle layer, the serum, and these are the
Mm.
products you see. You've got the
The syrup.
all these you can have phospholipids and you can have carbohydrates and
Mm-hmm.
erythritol and glucose. And so these are things that which people normally don't expect to find in rubber. Uh,
So
okay.
basically, people are not using these non-rubbers because they are using the rubber only. So they normally discard these non-rubbers product.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I will go to the next slide. I
Oh.
will touch on that one.
Mhm. No problem.
Next slide. Next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So just have a look. You see, natural rubber latex, you have a natural rubber polymer and then natural rubber serum. Let's don't talk about the middle one. The natural rubber polymer is the polymer is about 30 to 35%, which is all the while we have been using that to make all this product. And then the natural
Mm.
rubber serum, during the process, this serum is discharged as a
This
waste, and
material?
then
Oh.
they go and treat the waste. They go and treat the waste, and they discharge all the while. So we don't bother about the 60 to 65% of the serum. And then
It
this
means
60,
that so far, actually, we only use about 30 to 35% the ingredient, the overall composition of the
of the
rubber, right? The
latex.
other 60 to 65 is being discarded as a waste.
Yes, yes. All this
Mm.
while discard as a waste. And then in fact you can't discard the waste. They have to treat it
Yeah,
and
for the POE.
treat it, and then they spend money, and then because Malaysian rubber DOE is quite stringent, so you have to treat the thing and then you discharge. So now my focus is, you see, look at my problem statement. The evaluated raw material recovery from natural rubber serum so far hasn't been explored, and that's where some of this environmental problem comes in. If we can
It means
properly
that there is no research have been conducted based on
conducted,
this.
yeah, there have been
Oh.
research has been conducted, and it's being implemented. But
Mm-hmm.
the rubber industry is the raw material. I mean, the cost. I mean, the market price is quite low, so they don't really
Mm-hmm.
invest. But now, to increase the income from rubber, rather than increase rubber industry as a whole, we want to take away this waste and then convert it to value-added product, and then there is you produce latex or
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
grab latex,
The
there is some valuable raw material which can add in to your commodity value. So let's go to the next slide.
mm-hmm.
Shall I go to the next slide?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like Dr. Devaraj has some sort of problem with his internet connection. Later.
Right?
So I think Dr. Devaraj has some problem with his internet connection.
I think maybe we go to the slides
Oh yeah,
where we can
you
go to the
hear me now,
slides where hear me,
Mm-hmm.
Fadila?
Yeah, now I can hear you, but before I was like,
This is
maybe you have
basically
problem
the
with your internet connection, but
yeah.
that's
Can I
fine.
go to
But
the next slide? But they're treating the waste and discharge. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. Right. Can you hear me well now? Yeah.
I was still like, oh yeah, I can hear
Two
you
ways
well
you can
right now.
recover. One is the pre-steam using STP. So there are 6. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide. Yeah, these are the detail of the 6 places. One is the pristine collection. I mean, you collect the pure latex. Then the other one is you collect the latex. You collect the latex and then you coagulate with using food grade acid. The third one, the normal RSS, and then the fourth is a scheme, the waste latex. Then you coagulate the latex and you get the serum. And then the fourth and all that is kaplam. And then
So it
wastewater.
means that we have a different quality of the serum, doctor.
Yes, yes. The first one is the most pristine, this pristine serum, where you take
The
this.
best one.
Yes, I will explain in my next slide. Go to the next slide. Yeah. So no, let's go back to the earlier slide on my Okay. Yeah. Okay. All these things, 1, 2, 3, 6, sorry, there are biochemicals is already there. There are various biochemicals there, but each biochemicals you have to separate them. So separating them, you must use membrane separation. So I quickly run through the membrane separation very fast. Go to the next. Okay. Go to the next slide. Yes, membrane separation is the modern method of you need a barrier, semi-permeable barrier, where different solution can have feed can have different type according to the molecular weight. So you can separate them all this according to depending on the membrane pore size that is used. So you can fractionate according to the membrane pore size. So let's say you have a serum has got protein, sugar, and other thing. If you know the molecular weight, you can use different molecular weight to take care. That means uh, you can use microfiltration is the biggest pore size. You can remove all the suspended solid. Then you can use UF. You have to separate between protein and sugar. Then you can have protein one portion and sugar one portion. You can concentrate protein and you can use sugar. And now that I'll touch on the next slide. Okay, these are the differences between the various micro, ultra, and nano and osmosis. So depending on, if you look at the serum aceties, we basically know all the thing, but we can know which membrane to use to get uh, separate one from the other.
So just for to separate, let's say if you want to separate the pristine serum, which membrane process that you use?
Okay, the pristine serum is basically when you do the centrifuging of pristine, that's is already on your own separated. So you have to puncture the tube and take out the serum from. So we don't use a membrane for that one. Sorry, I didn't did that.
Yeah.
That is already ultra centrifuge. That means ultra centrifuge taken according to the molecular weight, they separate themselves. So this is a plastic tube. It is in. So you can just puncture this. Not plastic. It's a poly. It's like a cellulose tube. You can puncture and collect the. There is a. You can collect the serum at a different point. So when you go to industrial this thing, you can have a bigger setup, which I will show you later. They are on their own centrifugation, on their own they separate according to molecular weight. So you get B serum, C serum, bottom particle. This one they will separate and they take out the serum accordingly. Other than the ultra centrifuge, the other one, the coagulating of latex using food grade acid. Other five, you need membrane separation to separate them. Except for the first
Understand.
one. Okay. Go to the next slide, please. This is
So this is
basically
the modules.
all the membrane separation process that you can think, but we only use more hollow fiber and tubular because our scope is different. Just want to show you that membrane separation, but
Yeah.
it's not really going into the part. Okay, can you go to the next slide? This is very
This is the one that
very
you talk
important.
about. Yeah.
Yes, quickly. See, this the utilization of membrane separation. Of course, so with the serum that you either get from other than the ultracentrifuge, the pristine collection of serum. Other than that, we use microfiltration to remove the suspended solid.
Mm-hmm.
Just remove the suspended solid. After the microfiltration, the sludge on top, biological sludge, the one taken out and used as a fertilizer. Then the permeate goes into the UF ultrafiltration. That's where you separate into protein and sugar fraction. So
So it
then,
looks like actually from one raw serum, we can collect a different material,
yes,
different ingredient for
yes,
different
yes,
applications. So this is
yes,
something that very interesting.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But all these things we have done in Malaysian rubber board, and then we establish, the proper membranes, what's the pore size and all that. But the fine tuning is not done. I mean, you
It's
have
not yet
to
done. Oh.
fine tuning. That's why we need the university to come in,
Mm-hmm.
especially okay, we have got serum separated into protein and sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar is fully fractionated into sugar concentrate and RO water.
Mm-hmm.
Even the sugar fraction, we can also go into nano, then only RO. So nano, some protein is still there. So the protein and sugar mixed together, then later on when you try to separate the protein powder, it will become the protein powder become very sticky because the sugar is there. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to remove the sugar. Sugar is not normal sugar. It's a kind of a sugar where from there you make the cubital. It's a different type of sugar. You can Google it's a sugar
Yeah.
which is uh, okay. I would like to
The revenue, I think it will actually help in terms of the,
yeah
say,
yeah
the price will be higher if we have this kind of product or this kind
uh,
of, yeah, if we
yeah.
try to commercialize this.
Yeah, what you do is you don't discharge the wastewater. All the
Mm-hmm.
wastewater that you have a membrane system and you make into sugar fraction and protein fraction enough. Then you have a, few factories. You collect all these things and you have a group processing where you purify the protein and sugar further, and then you can have a further purification of protein into protein powder, which is an industrial protein used in all that. That one will come later. And this is, I give you the whole idea what happens with the protein. Protein you purify further, you can get protein powder. In the protein also you can ferment it. Fermentation of protein will give you so many other products. You have a profile of protein fermentation. One of the chemical you can make out of protein fermentation. You see, protein powder itself is a culture media. You can culture vaccine. You can culture fungus and can extract vaccine from the
From
uh,
natural rubber serum protein.
yes, it is a known fact. And then you take that is only the protein side. The fraction, the sugar side, from sugar side remove the water, then you get the sugar paste. Sugar paste, you can extract cubital. Cubital, you can check Google. Cubital is a raw material for starting material for so many products, especially cancer cure
Mm.
products, and also the facial
Pharmaceutical
cream and
products.
all that. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
pharmaceutical and cosmetic
yes,
products.
yes, from the protein and the sugar part, which I will explain in the next slide. Yes, the other continue. Next slide. Okay, this is quickly. This is the centrifuge. You do ultracentrifuge using the thing. You can get various portions. Then this is the then go to the next one. Yeah, this is what I want to touch, what they are doing currently. Natural rubber latex extract are becoming increasingly visible in pharmaceutical and therapeutic research. See, they can use the C serum. See, I mentioned to you the ultracentrifuge, you get a C serum. You actually take a C serum. C serum is actually, it's got a cancer curing property. So what happened in reality is the research has been going on with the USM and MRB. And also they found out that lately that this sea serum also as a drug they can make for cure of dengue. And then in Thailand, actually, Thailand working directly, Thailand Prince Songkhla University working directly with the pharmaceutical company to supply serum
Mhm.
for making very high grade facial cream,
Oh,
all this. So you can Google. Sometimes they say
what will
serum.
if we are using this kind of serum, rubber
Yeah,
based serum, is the
they would
rate of allergens is reduced or
beg your
no?
pardon? Beg your pardon? Yes.
I mean that what will be, I mean the rate of allergens because we are using
Yes.
this
Yes.
serum.
Yes, yes. Actually, there is a protein allergens, but this protein allergens, they're only about 6% of the population eligible.
Oh,
But they
not
can
that.
remove this. They have identified the protein causing, I mean, allergy causing protein. They can remove because they know the molecular weight. They can remove the thing, and then so that's why that this big Thailand pharmaceutical cosmetic company, they work with the university, and then Prince Sankla has got a very good analytical department they can do, and they in fact getting a lot of income from the using of this. Uh, so
What about Malaysia? So far, do you hear any collaboration
uh,
for this kind of research
Malaysia, yes, yes. Malaysia, they were all the time
around
doing kibble chutal. Kibble chutal is the sugar portion of the thing. And
this?
then now, lately, MRB also done doing some work on using this serum for
Mm,
cosmetic purpose. They already started, but many of these things are just secret. They won't tell you exactly. See, you just Google and you say serum from. They say serum for facial and all that, but
plant-based
they
serum
won't tell you. They don't tell you where it gets from. So,
actually
but
is
we all, yeah.
preferable.
See, look at the serum. You do you get a profile of the thing. There's so many ingredients there. Very much different type of proteins and which are nourishing. So we add in the deficient
Mm-hmm.
product.
Skincare
So
products.
you can make a serum. So it's all plant-based actually. It's not chemical-based.
Yeah, that's true. Mm.
Okay, can we go to the next slide? We don't
Yeah, it
running out
looks
of
like
time,
we
I
almost
think.
run out of
So
time.
I put there the two references lah is from Dr. Sundaresan and also another from the same department
Mm-hmm.
who
Yeah.
worked on this serum. Uh, okay, can you please go on to the next slide? Yes.
So it looks like Dr.
Next
Devaraj
slide,
has
please.
a problem with his
So
line.
this protein profile from the this is done work with Diana. We worked together and then we came up with the 16 proteins there.
Mhm.
Acid coagulation, acetic acid coagulation products from rubber serum. You can do a protein profile. You can make from this. Yeah, yeah. The most quality serum, even from the further. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is the low quality, the most low quality. This you get from the normal raw rubber processing. That means the RSS factory. That means your normal RSS factory.
Mm-hmm.
smoked seed. And then the other one is the kaplam. The smallholder brings the kaplam, and then he leaves, and then we can get the serum from these two.
Are we
The
currently
wastewater,
doing this in Malaysia, or this is
yes.
from Thailand?
Uh,
We are
this
doing
one,
it in Thailand.
Thailand, RSS now they only do in Thailand, no more Malaysia. Malaysia now kaplam, but Malaysia Rubber Board they came out with this project of extracting serum from kaplam, and
Mm-hmm.
they did get the project done, and then they wanted to take fetch kaplan from small, then extract the serum using the mentioned method, and then from the serum we can still can get protein and sugar portion and that sugar. But of course, the quantity will be much less. But there's 1 gram of kibachitol is about raw one is about 10 to 15 US dollar. So if you make
How
it.
about the
Um,
raw rubber price of the raw rubber?
Rubber price 1 kg is only for 4 to 5 ringgit now.
So
So you
it's better
see,
if we have extract our own.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, it's
yes.
very interesting.
Uh, so I want to share some of the work done by earlier people. In fact, there was a person by the name of Dr. Mr. Lau Chi Man who did the early work on cubital. He took
Mm-hmm.
the serum. He took the serum from normal wastewater, and then he managed to get the cubital. And in fact, he gave for a lot of companies to test. Can you go to the next slide?
Mm-hmm.
Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a value-added material from raw rubber processing wastewater. This you can just Google. The first the three section. The first section is Mr. Lau Chiman and also now recently also in Thailand they did some work on getting the raw serum from glove. I mean latex concentrate factory. They extracted cubital. And Lau Chiman is earlier done in 80s actually, but this work was stopped because they have got other more important work to carry out at
Mm-hmm.
that time. Now we
But
want to
the
value add.
market price is about the raw cubrachito is about 4 to 5 times higher than
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
rubber itself.
Yeah, this is what people don't see actually.
Yeah.
So what we can do now, we maybe Felda or Felcra, they can just do this kind of work. That means they produce normal latex and then give the latex and concentrate and then serum. They can do some work on the serum separation, and
Mm-hmm.
from the separation of the serum, then we can separate the fine chemical, and we can show this product that can just like kind of model factory, like model plantation, they can do that actually.
Yeah, yeah.
um so it's then in fact even if we take the serum from the normal factory waste, you use the membrane microfiltration. The microfiltration, whatever comes out is also a sludge that can be used. And then the one we concentrate, the low end, you can just convert this into fertilizer. Separate further, then you can use
Mm-hmm.
other things. This rubber they can also use as a coloring agent.
Okay.
Raw rubber, I mean rubber product manufacturing, which you can look at my slide.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Yeah.
I can
So this is some sort of a
give
future work, right?
a kind of other talk later on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Mm-hmm.
go to the next slide?
So I believe this is again some sort of like what kind of the next future works that Dr.
Can you
Devaraj wants to
please go to
do.
the next slide? Then we don't really have much time. Future work. This is the future work that you can do. Optimize the process. You get optimized at various places, industry, okay. So all these things I mean, waterfront, in sort of wastewater, untreated wastewater, going to cause an environmental problem in Palembang, and also in Sri Lanka and also Malabar Coast. So by using this, you can just take a wastewater, you do membrane separation, you get all the portions, and then you can just purify. You can unpurified portion also. You can get some revenue. You can take a model factory, model plantation, and then from there you get the serum. From there you get a product, and then you make into latex concentrate, and you take the kaplam and you extract, and you can show collect the serum, and you can do systematically isolate, and you can extract this product, and you can show the income, additional income they can get from the rubber, rather than only depending on the polymer. Sorry, because of the interruption from the internet, and I think I covered most of it. Just that
Yeah.
I think just want to show you that there are so many things that you can do from the serum. Just have to do some additional work. So this paradigm shift is required in rubber industry. Look at the non-rubbers in rubber. Non-rubbers in rubber. If you have a team build, if you have a right path, we can in fact value add to this raw material and give income back to the rubber industry, to the smallholder. The smallholder just bring in fresh kaplam. Just get we will do the extracting, and then we from there serum, and then skim the skim latex. We get the skim serum, and also pristine collection. You want high end, just use centrifugation, high end centrifugation. So this
Yeah.
thing, whole things, we can streamline and make into which area that you want to collect the serum, and from there we can find a model, and from there we can show the income. So I can willing to work with anybody that you're interested in, fact, university or other thing.
Yeah.
Even you can contact Malaysian Rubber Board for working on the pharmaceutical that they are working on now. And also you can ask for grant from Malaysia Rubber Council for this particular. I can act as a consultant to make this project successful. Thank you, UTM, for providing this opportunity. Except for the last meeting, maybe I spent more time introduction, so we should have gone
Yeah,
faster.
no problem, Doctor. No problem. So, so it looks like Dr. Devaraj already completed his sharing. This is a very informative one. To be honest, we learn a lot. We gain information a lot. But do we still have more time about for Q&A? So we have one question here. Can synthetic rubber outperform the natural rubber? So maybe do you have any comment, or there are any comment on the use of graphene in rubber?
Yes, synthetic rubber both also has got a niche area actually. Synthetic rubber, of course, we are talking about whether you are talking about synthetic latex or synthetic rubber. If we talk about synthetic latex, of course, nitrile latex. Nitrile latex, it's not tear resistant. If natural rubber film is, you can go at, I think, much you got tear resistant. That's why condom is made from natural rubber. You talk about rubber product, synthetic rubber has got a rubber product, synthetic rubber has got a niche, because all this natural rubber is basically God given, and then you can't modify the structure that much except for the ENR. But synthetic block rubber, they've got each use for each particular rubber. Nitrile rubber is oil resistant, and chloroprene is chemical resistant. They are definitely in fact overtaken Malaysian, only overtaken natural rubber. When you come back as a glove, it's latex glove. Nitrile latex has got it. Nitrile latex, you can make very thin glove. You can make from 1 gram of latex, you can make many glove. But latex, you not so many. Latex is thicker. But in terms of tear resistant, protective layer, that means it is much better. And you can add graphene. Graphene, you can improve natural rubber latex, you can add graphene. Graphene will strengthen. You can make a thinner glove. That's where the graphene will come in to improve natural rubber latex. You can make a thinner glove. You add in graphene to improve the strength. You can even compete against nitrile glove in terms of the weight of the glove. So each has got its own niche area. Aeroplane tire you can only make from natural rubber, no other tire, because heat buildup is so high that no other rubber can stand. They can explode straight away. So that's why the natural rubber only can make a. But other tire can be normal tire. You can make use of synthetic. Only natural rubber. But natural rubber used in tire making is about 40%. The rest are other non-rubbers there. So as a ordinary polymer, you can make into rubber, and you value add, then you can make into rubber product. But you need weather resistant, chemical resistant, then natural rubber has disadvantage.
Is there any other question? Oh, okay. So it means that this is the wrap for our session. I would like to say thank you, Dr. Devaraj, for giving such a very informative sharing just now for the last 1 hour. I believe that we have a lot of information that we obtained. Even to the viewers, thank you for joining our session. If you're interested in joining any of other session, you can just go through to Facebook, Faculty of Engineering UTM, and you can find a lot of webinar series are going on right there, and you can join any of those. And for myself, I would like to thank all of you. And till then, I hope that we can meet again and have a nice day. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Meet again soon. Bye.
Don't forget. Okay.